What's up, y'all? It's your boy Tobias Young, and today we are stepping outside back to that vertical smoker because today we are smoking ourselves a whole turkey. And let me tell you something, this turkey turned out bomb. So get your pen and paper because we fit in the grill today. All right, y'all, let's get right into it. So as you guys know, earlier this summer, I partnered up with P.O Box, and so they sent me out this turkey prep kit. So I decided that this year I wanted to smoke me a turkey. So this is actually really simple. It's pretty, straightforward. The instructions are right on the back. But essentially what I'm going to do is I'm pouring in the full contents of the turkey brine kit inside of a large stock pot. Then what I'm going to do is bring that up to a simmer, and I'm going to add in 4 cups of water. Now that I have this coming up to a simmer, I'm actually going to go ahead and turn the heat off. And then I'm going to pour in 1 gallon of water. Once again, you want to make sure that the heat is off. At this stage, you want to allow this to fully cool. It doesn't have to be extremely cold, but it needs to be at least room temperature because you don't want to pour the contents of this brine while it's hot over your turkey, or you're going to start to cook your turkey and ain't nobody got time for that, okay? That's what you call food poisoning. So I'm going to get this nice and mixed up, allow this to fully cool, maybe about 30 minutes or so, and then we'll come back and keep moving forward. What we're working with today is a 16-pound butterball turkey that I have already cleaned, took all the, the guts and all that foolishness out. But like I said, I'm working with a 16-pound butterball turkey today. Now, to make my life a lot easier, they provided me with a brining bag, which is wonderful because now all I have to do is just put this right inside of a cooler, or if you had a pot big enough, you could also put it in your fridge, but ain't nobody got time for that. So I'm happy that the kit came with this gigantic brining bag, and as you can see, it fits my turkey with no problems, with plenty of room to spare. And like I said, mine is 16 pounds. So I have this inside of this cooler here, and now that the contents of the brine has completely cooled off, I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring all of that into the bag nice and carefully. And just in case you guys didn't notice, when I put the turkey inside of the bag, I made sure that I had the breast side facing downward because that's really where you want most of that brine to really soak up all of that moisture is inside of the brine, typically the parts of the turkey where it gets the driest. So as you can see, now that I have all of the brine in with almost not making a mess, I'm going to take all of the air out of the bag. I'm going to, zip it up, and then I'm going to pour over a large bag of ice. Now, of course, you don't have to do this if you're going to put it in the fridge, but for me, it's freezing cold outside, and I just put a bag of ice over this, and it worked just fine. Now, this is a preference. I chose to do mine overnight, so I put this in at about 8:30 p.m. last night, and then I ended up smoking it the next morning starting at about 9 a.m. So, you can do the math there. But the longer you do it, the better, to be honest. But now that I have that nice and sealed up tightly, I'm covering it up with some ice so that it can stay nice and cold overnight. Put the top on it and then let it ride. And like I said, I allowed this to go for about 8 or 9 hours. And as you can see, that ice was still there. The turkey was still nice and cold. I transferred it over to my sink. As you can see, those seasonings are permeating directly through the meat, which is absolutely wonderful. But you want to make sure that you fully wash it off and pat it dry so that it does not end up being salty. That's key. Make sure you wash it off and make sure you pat it nice and dry. Now I'm going to go in with some Tony Chachére's injectable butter. Now you can either buy this already in the bottle like I did, did, or you can do it from scratch, which I also do sometimes with literally some butter, garlic, salt, pepper. That'll also work just fine, but why not just make this easier on yourself? Now, the reason why I like to do this step first is so that if there is any extra liquid that's coming out or making a mess all over the place, I can kind of pat that dry a little bit before I add the seasoning. Because once I add the seasoning in, I'm not going to be rubbing in any of the seasoning at all. Also, keep in mind, I'm only going to be doing 3 holes per breast. So on the left side, the right side, 3 holes. I'm going to do 1 injection in each of the legs and in the thigh. That's it. You don't want too many holes, okay? So I'm going to continue to do that, get that all injected, and then pat it down dry just a little bit, nice and gently, and then we're going to move on to seasoning it. Also inside of that turkey prep kit is also going to come with a package of seasoning. Now, for me, I thought that I recorded this, but I guess I must have turned off the camera, didn't realize it. But I used the entire contents of the seasoning package that they gave me, but I also went in with the Pit Boss Texas barbecue rub as well. Once I got both of those rubs on there, remember, I did not rub them in with my hand, just nicely, gently, just evenly spread it out. Once you get your seasonings on there, allow it to sit on the counter for about 15 minutes or so until it starts to sweat. That'll really make all of the seasonings stick to it nicely. Once you do that, then if you see any bald spots or any areas where there's no coloring, you can go back in with some additional seasoning. Like I said, the additional seasoning I chose to use was the Texas barbecue rub. Now, like I said, as you guys know, I work with Pit Boss, so I'm going to be using my vertical smoker. And as you can see, I got that smoking and up to temp at 275 today. So now that that's ready to go and I allowed this to rest for about 15-20 minutes, I'm going to place this in my smoker. Now, I'm going to tell you right now, the total cook time for this 16-pound turkey came to 6 hours. Every 2 hours, I went outside and I spritzed it down with just water. No extra nothing, just a little bit of water every 2 hours. What you're seeing right now is about the 5-hour mark, okay? At the 5-hour mark, which is about the last hour and a half, excuse my dog, you can hear her in the background scratching, acting a fool. In the last hour and a half, I am going to now get ready to check the temperature to see where we're at temperature-wise. You want the internal temperature to reach 165 minimum, okay? Minimum, okay? So mine still had about another hour and a half. So like I said, this is about the 5-hour mark. So what I'm going to do now is start to baste this with some more of that Creole butter. I'm going to do this periodically through that last hour and a half. And, you know, just keep coming out, checking on it, making sure that it's not getting too dark and making sure that you're continuing to check the temperature. Once again, you want to make sure that it gets to 165. And as you guys can see, I'm not going in with the brush directly touching the turkey. I'm letting it drip. You don't want to wipe up any of the seasonings or ruin that delicious crust that you've made. So now this turkey is absolutely done. I let it rest for about 15 to 20 minutes. And baby, when I tell you, this was probably one of the juiciest damn turkeys I have ever had in my life. And the only reason why I wasn't able to slice this up and show y'all on camera is because I was giving this away to somebody. But just know, it was bomb. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Give this video a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit that bell to be notified. And as always, y'all babies stay cute and take care. Bye, guys.
Slaying in the kitchen. Simply Food by TY. We hope that you enjoyed it. Simply Food by TY. If you haven't took the time, make sure you subscribe. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching. Thanks for watching Simply Food.